All right, welcome to the video here today for Tuesday, September 6, 2022. My name is Brock Page, and I've been doing sports picks for free right here on YouTube since 2016. And if you want to see which one of these free picks on this video that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. And the link for that site is in the description section below. With that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to take a look at the Mets squaring off against the Pirates, 635 East. The New York Mets are minus 230, totals 8 runs. Taijuan Walker for New York, Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh. Now, Mitch has double-digit losses on the year, along with a 1.46 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Pirates lost their last 4 straight, and they've struggled to hit the baseball all season long. These guys are second to last in strikeouts at the dish. They're also facing Taijuan Walker here today, who's got double-digit wins on the year, along with an ERA in the 3s. Now, hitting-wise, the Mets are in the top 10 in team batting average. Jeff McNeil's hitting a team-best 320 at the dish. Meanwhile, Pete Alonso's third in the bigs in RBI with 106 of them. When it comes to the total, New York's 37 and 29 to the over when traveling. They also saw 8 out of their last 10 meetings with Pittsburgh get over the number. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Buccos on the other side of things, they allowed nearly 6.5 runs a game to New York in those very meetings I just mentioned. I'm going to lean toward the Mets minus 1.5 over 8. Next game, little AL East action. I'm talking about the Red Sox taking on the Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Tampa Bay's minus 165, total 7. Drew Rasmussen for Tampa Bay, Rich Hill for Boston. Now, the rich man's got a winning record and a 1.29 whip. The Bo Sox also got the W in 5 out of their last 6. And they score a whole bunch of runs in the process. Xander Bogaerts leads the club with a .317 batting average. Meanwhile, Rafi Devers is the team leader in homers and RBI. Now, they're taking on a Rays club who hasn't been really dynamic at the dish. These guys are in the bottom 10 in homers, and they have one of the lower team OPS numbers in the American League. Now, when it comes to the total in this one, Tampa Bay's 63% to the under in their divisional home games. Meanwhile, Boston's 16 and 11 to the under against the AL East on the road. I'm going to lean toward Boston plus 1.5 and the under 7. Next game, Marlins, Phillies, 6:45 East. Philadelphia's minus 220, total 7. Aaron Nola for the Titans, Jesus Luzardo for Miami. And even though he's got good numbers, Jesus Luzardo comes into today's start with a 3-6 record. Meanwhile, as a team, the Fish have lost their last 7 straight, and they posted a record of just 3-13 since August 16th. They're taking on a Phillies team on the other side who has a winning record in divisional play. And when it comes to the scoring, the Titans are actually in the top 5 in baseball right now in runs per game. And keep in mind with that divisional record, they have to play the Mets and the Braves a bunch of times, during any given season. So that's certainly to have a winning record in divisional play. It's something to be considered. Now, Kyle Schwarber, he has an NL best 36 home runs. Meanwhile, Alec Boehm's hitting nearly 300 at the dish. When it comes to the pitching in this one, Aaron Nola struck out 190 batters and has a .97 whip. When it comes to the total, 7 out of Philly's last 10 ball games got over the number. They also went 5-2 to the over in their last 7 Aaron Nola starts. I'm going to lean toward the Phillies minus 1.5 over 7. Next game, Twins, Yankees, 7:05 East. The New York Yankees are minus $2, total 6.5. Garrett Cole for New York, Joe Ryan for Minnesota. Now, the Twins dropped 4 out of their last 5 ball games, and they have a losing record on the road. When it comes to hitting the baseball, the Twins are in the bottom 10 in road hits. They're facing Garrett Cole, who's got double-digit victories on the year, along with 204 staggering strikeouts. When it comes to hitting the ball, the Yankees still remain the league leaders in homers. Aaron Judge has a league best 54 bombs. And he also leads the league in RBI and OPS. When it comes to the total, 9 out of New York's last 10 meetings with Minnesota did get over the line. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Meanwhile, 5 out of Joe Ryan's last 8 starts for Minnesota got over the total as well. I'm going to lean toward the Yankees, -1.5, over 6.5. Next game, Jays, O's, 7:05 East. Both teams are -110 with the total at 8.5. Mitch White for Toronto, Kyle Bradish for Baltimore. And out of 87 innings of work this year, Brad's got the W just 3 times. Bradish is just 3-5 on the season with an ERA in the 5s. When it comes to hitting the baseball, the O's are actually in the bottom 10 in the league right now in home hits per contest. Now they're taking on a Jays team who won their last 5 straight, and they do a great job getting on base. These guys are in the top 3 in the league in team batting average, and they're led by Lourdes Gurriel, who's hitting nearly 300 at the dish. Meanwhile, Vlad Guerrero Jr., he's got a team best 81 runs batted in. When it comes to the total, Toronto went 60% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Baltimore went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 as well. I'm going to lean toward the Blue Jays, -110, under 8.5. Next ball game, Reds, Cubs, 7:40 p.m. East. Chicago's -170, totals 8 runs. Wade Miley for the Cubs, Justin Dunn for Cincy. And as much as I like Dunn, he does struggle allowing runs. He's got himself an ERA of 4.63. The Reds have also had a real tough time winning on the road. They've got a win percentage of just .375 while traveling. Now they're taking on a Cubbies team who has a winning record against the NL Central at Wrigley. They also have they've gotten 19 really strong innings out of Wade Miley this year. He's yet to lose a game during that time frame, and he also has a 2.84 ERA. Now total-wise, Chicago's gone 7-3 to the over in their last 10 outings. They also averaged just about 7 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Cincinnati. I'm going to lean towards Chicago, -170, over 8. Next ball game, it is going to be Nationals at the Cardinals, 7:45 East. St. Louis is -260, totals 8 runs. Jose Quintana for St. Louis, Paolo Espino for Washington. And out of 96 innings of work, Paolo Espino has still yet to record his first win of the season. He's 0-6 with an ERA of 4.22. The Nats pitching staff is arguably the worst in baseball. They're allowing more runs a game on the road than any other team in the bigs. They're also taking on a Cardinal team who won 7 out of their last 9. And they've pretty much been dominant at Busch Stadium this year. These guys have a .662 win percentage on their own diamond. And of course, Paulie Goldschmidt, he's given opposing pitchers nightmares all season long. He's been fantastic. He's actually hitting a league best .328 at the dish. Now, Goldschmidt's also in the top 3 in RBI and OPS. Now, starting pitcher Jose Quintana, he's also looked pretty good in a Cardinals uniform this year. He comes into the back half of the year here with a 3.38 ERA with St. Louis. Now, when it comes to the total, 5 out of St. Louis's last 7 at home did get over the number. Meanwhile, the Nats went 37-29 to the over when they bat first. I'm going to lean toward the Cardinals, -1.5, and the over 8 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Guardians-Royals, 8:10 p.m. East. Cleveland's -$2, total 7.5. Shane Bieber for the Guardians, Chris Bubich for Kansas City. Now, Boobies is just 2-10 on the year with a 5.47 ERA. Meanwhile, as a team, the Royals have struggled quite a bit with the bats. They're in the bottom 10 in scoring, and they have one of the lower OPS averages in the American League. They also have to face Shane Bieber on the other side of things, who's got 164 strikeouts, along with an ERA in the low 3s. And in these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings, the Guardians have averaged just about 7 runs a game. Andres Jimenez, he's hitting .301 at the dish. Meanwhile, Jose Ramirez, he's tied for third in the majors right now with 106 RBI. Now, when it comes to the total, 8 out of Cleveland's last 10 fell under the number. They also saw their last 3 straight Bieber starts fall under the line. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland, -1.5, under 7.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Rangers at the Astros. And that'll be an 8:10 Eastern start time. Houston's -270, total 7.5 runs. Framber Valdez for Houston, Glenn Otto for Texas. Now, Glenn's just 6-8 with an ERA in the high 4s. The Rangers are also on a 9-game losing streak, and they strike out more times a game on the road than most clubs in the American League right now. Now, they're also facing Framber Valdez on the other side of things on the bump, who's 14-4 on the year with 150 strikeouts himself. When it comes to hitting for power, the Astros are in the top 5 in the league in home runs. Yordan Alvarez, he's in the top 10 in homers with 31 of them. Meanwhile, Kyle Tucker, he currently leads the franchise in RBI with 86. When it comes to the total, 4 out of Houston's last 5 at Minute Maid Park fell under the total. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward Houston, -1.5, and the under 7.5 runs. Next ball game, Brewers, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Milwaukee's the $1.85 favorite on the road, totals 11. Brandon Woodruff for Milwaukee, Chad Kuhl for Colorado. Now Kuhl's just 6-8 with an ERA in the 5s. The Rockies also dropped 7 out of their last 10. And they lost their last 5 straight where Chad Kuhl threw out the first pitch. Now they're taking on a Milwaukee club who's one of the better scoring teams on the road. These guys are actually in the top 5 in road runs per game. They're also led by Rowdy Tellez, who has 28 homers on the year. But if you think about it, it's actually this, the real strength of this Brewer organization is their pitching staff. That's really the keystone of the franchise. These guys are actually in the top 3 in the league right now in striking batters out. Starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff, he has 136 Ks on the season, along with a 9-4 record and an ERA in the 3s. Now, total-wise, 7 out of Milwaukee's last 10 meetings with Colorado did get over the line. So once again, another one of those historical trends to think about. Meanwhile, Colorado went 6-2 to the over in their last 8 Chad Kuhl starts. I'm going to lean toward Milwaukee, -185, over 11. Next ball game, Tigers, Angels, 9:38 East. The LA Angels are -130 at home, totals 8 runs. Mike Mayers for Los Angeles, Eduardo Rodriguez for Detroit. Now, Ed Rod's just 3-4 on the year with a whip of 1.41. And even if he does throw well, this is a Detroit team who lost 6 out of their last 7. They score fewer runs a game than any other club in baseball. They're also facing an Angel franchise who won 7 out of their last 10. They averaged just about 5 runs a game during that time frame. Shohei Ohtani's leading the club in homers and runs batted in. When it comes to the scoring in this one, the Angels did average 6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Detroit. Meanwhile, the Tigers saw their last 4 straight on the road get over the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Angels -130, over 8. Next ball game, it is going to be Diamondbacks at the Padres, 9:40 p.m. East. San Diego's -165 at home, total 7 runs. Joe Musgrove for San Diego, Merrill Kelly for Arizona. Now, Kelly's got double-digit wins on the season, along with 142 strikeouts. He's also got an ERA in the 2s, along with a 1.11 whip. Now, as a team, the D-backs have been playing some really good baseball here lately. They went 8-2 straight up in their last 10, and they averaged over 6 runs a game during that time frame. Christian Walker's the team leader in home runs and RBI. He's actually 8th in the big leagues right now in that home run category. Now, the D-backs, they are taking on a Padres team on the other side who's on a 3-game skid themselves, and they actually averaged just 1.6 runs a game during that stretch. Now, truth be told, the Pods have struggled to score in Petco Park all season long. They're in the bottom 5 in the league in runs per game at home. When it comes to the total, 6 out of San Diego's last 10 meetings with Arizona fell under the line. Meanwhile, the D-backs are 16-8 to the under in their divisional road games. I'm going to lean toward Arizona plus 1.5, under 7. Next ball game, it is going to be Braves at the Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. Atlanta's minus 225, totals 8 runs. Kyle Wright for Atlanta, Cole Irvin for Oakland. And even though Irvin's been real good this year, the A's simply just don't, want to win for him. The lefty's got a losing record on the season with 11 total losses. Now, the A's as a team, they've also lost 4 out of their last 5. And they continue to struggle at the dish. These guys are currently dead last in the majors in team batting average. Now they're facing Kyle Wright here today, who has a staggering 17 wins on the year, along with a 2.85 ERA. Now Wright's also punched out 150 batters and has a 1.13 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the Braves won their last 5 straight, and they also rank amongst the best in the league right now offensively. These guys are in the top 3 in the majors in scoring, and they actually lead the National League in home runs. Austin Riley's 3rd in the bigs with 35 homers. He also is 4th in the majors in OPS. When it comes to the total, 3 out of Oakland's last 4 at the Coliseum fell under the number. They also went 10-4 to the under in their last 14 Cole Irvin starts. I'm going to lean toward Atlanta minus 1.5 and the under 8 runs in that tight window. All right, next ball game, White Sox Mariners, 9:40 p.m. East. Seattle's the $1.45 favorite, total 7.5 runs. Logan Gilbert for the M's, Johnny Cueto for Chicago. Now, Cueto has a winning record and an ERA in the 2s. Chicago also got the W in 5 out of their last 6 ball games, and they've had little problem getting on base. These guys are in the top 3 in team batting average. Jose Abreu's hitting a team-best .309. He's also driven in 63 runners. Now, they're taking on a Seattle club on the other side of things who really struggles at the plate in their own building. These guys are in the bottom 3 in the league in home hits per game. They're also in the bottom 5 in home scoring. Now, when it comes to the numbers, Seattle's last 4 games in front of their own fans fell under the total. They're also 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Chicago went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the White Sox plus 1.5, keeping this one close, and the under 7.5. Next and final breakdown for the video, it is going to be Giants at the Dodgers, and that's going to be a 10:10 Eastern start time. Now, the LA Dodgers are minus 310 with a total at 8.5 runs. Tyler Anderson for the Dodgers, Wei-Chi Wong making his debut for San Francisco. Now, the Giants have struggled getting base runners on the road. These guys are currently in the bottom 5 in road hits per contest. They're facing Tyler Anderson here today, who's really done a nice job shutting down hitters. He's 13-3 on the year with an ERA of 2.68. He also fanned 114 batters and has a 1.02 whip. Now, he's also backed by the best hitters in baseball right now. The Dodgers currently lead the league in scoring, batting average, and OPS. Mookie Betts has a team-best 33 home runs. Meanwhile, Trey Turner's 5th in the league in runs batted in. When it comes to the total, LA's last 4 straight at Dodger Stadium got over the number. Meanwhile, the Giants on the other side of things, they went 80% to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers minus 1.5 and the over 8.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap Powered to you by my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. I like the Mets minus 1.5 over 8. Give me Boston plus 1.5 under 7. Philadelphia minus 1.5 over 7. New York Yankees minus 1.5 over 6.5. And one final reminder, guys, if you want to see which one of these free picks on this video that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. I like Toronto minus $1.10 under 8.5. Chicago Cubs minus 170 over 8. St. Louis minus 1.5 over 8 runs. Cleveland Guardians minus 1.5 under 7.5. Houston Astros minus 1.5 under 7.5 runs. Milwaukee minus 185 over 11. LA Angels minus 130 over 8 runs. Arizona plus 1.5 under 7. Atlanta Braves minus 1.5 under 8. Chicago White Sox plus 1.5 under 7.5. And with my next and final free pick for the video, I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers minus 1.5 over 8.5 runs. With that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today, just a reminder that you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, you're going to want to sign up for my board member package. It's an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, guys, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.